All right, so this first stretch is it's got a couple of names, but basically it's called a couch stretch. We want to put a pad under our back knee because it's uncomfortable otherwise. We're taking that back knee as far back to the wall as we possibly can, and then that back toe is pointed upwards. So our shoelaces, although I'm wearing Crocs, goes as far back against the wall as possible. Now, if you don't have a squat rack, a stick is good, a foam roller, something to keep you upright. From here, what we're trying to do is get that knee as far back as possible and take ourselves back in this direction, squeezing the glute. Okay, so we're squeezing our bum, staying nice and upright, avoiding arching, right? So nice and upright, and push back against the squat rack, use a stick, and we're trying to close up this gap and get a good stretch through the front, squeezing that glute. All right, so this is an external rotator or glute stretch. A couple of different ways to do it depending on what you've got available to you. So first one is on the box. So we take our leg across, ankle and knee and that hip and thigh need to all be at right angles. So we don't want this exaggerated knee position. So we step back as far as we need to make sure we've got a right angle and then our leg is straight ahead. From here, rest your ankle on the box, leaning forward and down until we get a nice deep stretch in our glutes through here. So that's the first type. The second one we can do on a bench. I really love this position. So we take a kneeling position. You may need to build up the height, so you may need multiple mats. We're going to take the front leg up onto the bench. Again, being careful that we're not closing up this angle, so we want 90 degrees and we want everything straight, so hips straight, not twisted. Then from here, slowly bring the hands in front, leaning forward. You can see I'm quite tight in here, but this is our second position, a little bit harder than on the box, but fantastic, especially for back pain, just opening up our hips. Last option is on the floor, a little bit harder again, mostly because if you're tight, you're going to be rotated. So now we're going to put the front leg on that on the block. Okay, so 90 degrees. Back leg is under and tucked as much as possible. We don't want to rotate a position, so I've got to try and get this knee underneath, stay square, get this front leg 90 degrees, don't pull it back underneath, and then slowly bring ourselves down to the ground without twisting our body, so we want to stay nice and square. All right, so 3 different versions of the same stretch. Okay, seated butterfly stretch. So first of all, this is best done against the wall. You cannot be slouched when you do this. So you've got to pull your hips back and make sure your butt is hard up against the wall. Then you bring your feet together, then slide them back to whatever your flexibility allows. All right, from here, we need pressure down on our legs. The very best way to do this is to get some weights. Now, if it's too heavy, you're not going to be able to let go. You need to be able to relax. So nice and upright, nice and tall against the wall, and just letting the weight slowly push down on your legs, separate your knees apart. All right, so this is our forward fold, working on our hamstrings. Hamstrings are very ropey, big, thick muscle groups. So to work on them, sometimes some tension helps. You can stand on 2 boxes, you can stand on a bench that you can get your fingers underneath, or an aerobic step. You just need something where here you've got the ability to hold on. So we start with feet as wide as possible on whatever we're standing on. Bend our knees down, bend down, down, down. Grip underneath and get a really good solid purchase on whatever it is you're holding to. From there we're going to look back through our legs, straighten our knees up and hold for 15 to 20 seconds. Do not hold your breath though, just keep breathing. Right, once we've done 15 to 20 seconds, slowly come out of that position, watch the head rush, halve the distance between your feet, go down again. Bend your knees, go down as deep as you can, get a really tight grip purchase on there, lock your elbows, look back between your legs, straighten your knees as much as possible, then again hold for 15 to 20 seconds. And finally our last one, feet go together, knees bent, underneath, pushing back and holding, straightening those legs out. All right, so those 3 positions will take us a minute. Right, so our lizard, we start kneeling, take a big step forward. So we want front heel in front of that knee. So we don't want 90 degrees, we want bigger than that. Now from here, hands go on the ground to the inside. Then we improve on the position. Take the back knee back a little bit further, hotch it back. Take the front foot forward a little bit more. We're going to try and hold this position. Now, if you are flexible enough, slowly through deep breaths, just bring yourself further down, further down. If you can, you want your elbows to the ground, but you just want to hold a position where you're not rotating out of position. So we stay as square as we can, and that's our position that we hold. Okay, the bretzel is a whole lot of things going on at once. Glutes, thoracic spine, chest. So to set up, we start on our side. The top leg comes forward into 90 degrees. The bottom leg we're going to grip and hold on to. So in the bottom leg we're doing a quad stretch. The top leg we're doing a glute and thoracic spine twist. And we're looking away from that top leg. Head goes to the ground. If you're good enough, shoulders go to the ground. Right, we start just on our knees, quite nuanced to get into the right position. So we're going to put one hand across our body on the ground. So that bottom hand is that's the lat that we're stretching. Now we're trying to pull this arm almost out of its socket, and we do that by driving the top hand forward and the hips back. So we reach forward and across the body, then we secure that hand in place with the top one, and we want to cement that position. Now with the top hand we push forward, with our hips we drop backwards, and then we twist away from the side of the bottom arm. So the bottom arm twists, we pull back while we're still pushing forward with that top arm. Head goes between the hands, and you'll get a really nice stretch down the side of your ribs and your lat on that bottom side. It's just, you got to fiddle to get the position right, but once you're there, you really feel it. Just an easy one for our shoulders and triceps, just one together. So we're going to reach up with one arm, bring it down behind our head, like so, and then the top hand we're going to push that one down the middle of our back. So we want our fingers to remain down the middle of the back. Now we don't want to over-exaggerate this arched back position. Keep your back relatively flat. Improve the position as much as possible, holding here. Now, if you do have the flexibility, you can try and make these two hands meet at the back. Unfortunately, I don't have the flexibility for that, so I can't show it, but in essence, we're pushing that top hand down, and if we can, reach and secure behind your head. Stretch, so we're effectively lying flat down on the ground. We're going to stretch through here. So we start lying face down, reaching out to the side. Now, if you get shoulder pain, you might have to decrease the angle. Bring the hand closer. Bring the hand closer to the body. We'll start out here. Other hand is in a push-up position. The hand that's in the push-up position, the same leg crosses over into a twisted spine. Now, at the same time, I've driven my shoulder hard into the ground, and then I continue to twist over while driving this shoulder into the ground, so I really stretch out through my shoulder, looking up to the ceiling. Sometimes we call this a dead bird position, all right, but we're just trying to really get some good stretch and length through the front of our shoulder. Stretch, good for our upper back, good for our shoulders, triceps. So, a couple of things we can do here. To start with, it's good to separate and space our hands. So holding a foam roller, you can hold a dumbbell, you can even hold a stick. Hold a stick, okay, one or the other. From here, we take our elbows, put them just barely on the edge of the bench, only just on the bench, so we don't want them too far forward. From here, we creep our knees back, drop our chest, and then our head goes down below the bench. So you can see there's an arch in my upper back. My elbows are starting to open up under my armpits, my back muscles, and then I just drop the foam roller backwards. Now if I use a dumbbell for that, I I'm going to get a deeper stretch. I'll get a deeper stretch in my triceps. Okay, same position, take the knees back, drop the head. So this is a lot more stretch, so it's probably the preferable one. Okay, and just separating those hands keeps you in the right position, or you can do it with a dowel as well. I won't show that one, but I think probably the dumbbell one for most of us is the best one, better weight.